Hey, it's the Gundam Boy, and today we're going to be taking a look at the brand new Warp Pack. One of the coolest things I've ever seen being added to Helldivers. So, let's get straight into it. You can get this backpack from the Control Group Warbond on the last page, and oh lordy, that's a long way to go. The Warp Pack allows you to warp into either direction that you're inputting. Purple is when it's cooled down completely, and once you warp the first time, it will start to glow yellow. Do it another time, and you'll take some damage, and it'll be red. You'll know when it's safe to warp again when that little orb on the back starts to turn purple. And for this next part, I'm going to need someone to help me because I need to show off the capabilities of the backpack. So let's see who we get to help us. So let's take a look at how well, I guess we're taking a look at how it looks on you then. The backpack is a kick-ass design. Look at that. You have like a pocket black hole right behind your head. But how good is it at traveling? Well, if you're trying to use this as safe as possible, you have a pretty limited distance on how far you can go. But if you don't care and you're trying to get as far as you possibly can, you can use it at least 2 times to warp before you just kind of die. Jump pack can take you way further in one leap, but at the end of the day, it's up to you on what you want to use. Or, skipping the gate entrance and going right through the wall instead. Funny enough, the warp pack doesn't actually take any stamina to use, so I find it amazing that you could use this thing to run around in heavy armor. There's some places where you can warp to the top of things like buildings, and if the drop isn't too high, it warps you back down to the ground. If you're too high up though and you try to warp, you will fall straight to the ground and take some damage. You can also dive into your warp. This also opens up the opportunity to extend your teleport distance if you really need to make a certain jump. However, I will say it's not as good as traversing the map like Jump Pack, but this is more of a combat use item. In the middle of a warp, you can still fire your primary, no problem. The only thing you cannot do is reload while you're warping. Teleporting cancels out the animation. This includes support weapons, they're also effective. Pairing the Warp Pack with the Flamethrower, you can kite enemies around for days on the bug front, just warping back while they keep walking into your flames. And just keep in mind what's behind you while you're warping like this, because you may fly off the edge of a cliff. And no, I don't have that footage, it got corrupted. You can also charge things like the Epoch or Quasar Cannon mid-warp, so you can reposition yourself for a better angle. Where the fuck are you going? This backpack makes it a great option for recovery after you get knocked over in ragdoll situations to reposition yourself. Or if you're feeling a little aggressive, you can use it to warp into your enemy's ass. Hey, it's Boy.
Get out of here!
Today we're gonna be
He's still alive!
This quickly became one of my favorite stratagems in the game, and I don't think I will stop using this because the ability to dodge behind enemies is just too crazy. Now let me stab this pole up your ass. Now you could use this to dodge, but you have to time it perfectly or the enemies will still hit you mid-teleportation. And I'm pretty sure the attack range of this thing is much smaller, so don't expect to hit everybody when you warp towards them, but it's definitely a great option to liberate any enemies that are in your path. Don't warp into larger enemies because they will crush you between their buns, but it's definitely a useful item for breaking the ankles of elite heavies because they just, are too big to turn. Dumbass. And since you can teleport into the fucking buddy bunker, you can hide in there and the enemies can't get you. Now you people with no friends can super credit farm by yourself. But that is the end of my video. What do you guys think about the Warp Pack? Probably one of the craziest things to come out of this fucking Warbond. And except for the Epoch's terrible aim. Arrowhead, please fix it. I shot a dude 100 meters to the right and he still thinks I did it on purpose.